Good evening and welcome to another edition of Real Talk with Michelle. My guest this evening is a dear friend of mine. Her name is Deon Stokes. Her energy is vibrant. She is the epiphany of entrepreneurship, and we're going to talk this evening about her journey. Deon has worked in politics and left politics to start her passion, to pursue her passion. And so join me as I talk with Deon this evening about her journey. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Michelle. I appreciate it.
Oh, I'm so excited to have you. Finally.
We did
We've been talking about this forever. But you are a woman who has so many moving parts to you.
Yeah.
And usually I don't start the conversations like this, but I'm just going to ask you some random questions.
Okay.
So, what is your biggest failure? Do you have a failure that's been the biggest part of your life?
Yeah, I actually use my failures as the rubric of how to actually run my life. So I have a podcast called The Failure Report. And so oddly, you asked me about this question because I'm very passionate about talking about professional failures because no one wants to talk about it. And I remember a day specifically that I was standing at a networking event. And, you go to these networking events, they're all stushy. Everybody's got their charcuterie on a little napkin. And someone was going on and like, how's business going? And everybody was like, it's good. Just closed 7 figures. It's good. Just did this. Everybody's just bragging about how big their bag is. And I was standing there after losing a client that I had had for 6 years. And I had an exceptionally tough day, as you can imagine. My team was it was not any one individual's fault. It was, of course, a team issue that had happened. But I was not having a particularly good day. And I found myself telling the truth to a bunch of strangers. And the turn came to me and they asked me how my day was. And I was like, my day sucked. I was like, I've had the worst day ever. And they were like, seriously? And I was like, yeah. And I told them what happened.
Right.
And it was the first time that I felt honest about being an entrepreneur. And I used that opportunity to really allow my failures to be the thing that drove my decisions, that taught me the lessons that I needed to learn, that were the things that I wanted to review even at night. Whenever everyone else is practicing gratitude, I write out everything that did not go well because tomorrow I'm not going to do it again. And so I don't want to say what I call it, but I have.
What do you call it?
It's called an F-up report.
Okay. Okay.
The F stands for failure. But my F-up report is my letter to God and says, like, God, you know what? These were the things that went so well today, and these are the things that I don't ever want to have happen again. And I love going back and reading it. Sometimes I see the tears in the water, in the ink. And then oftentimes I just have so much. Everything can be flipped into a moment of gratitude because every time I look at it again, all I see is how grateful I am that I never have to do this again. I never have to go through this situation again. And if I do, it's on me. It's not because I didn't learn. God didn't give me the opportunity to experience it. So I'm glad you asked me about failures. That's random, Michelle.
I like that. We should all have a F-up report.
F-up report.
Yeah. In our lives, not just with businesses.
We should.
Or walk with Christ.
Absolutely.
We should all have one.
Absolutely.
I like that idea.
Because he talks to us so much, and there's so many times that we don't listen. We allow distractions to stand in our way, and they cause us to move off the track and the path that he has set for us.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is that it's my decision. Every time I reread it, it's my decision. He's given me the power of choice. My decision was not to listen. Therefore, I have to suffer the consequences.
Yeah.
It's an important read. I do suggest that everybody has one.
I love that. Yeah. I love that. Now, I mentioned in the intro that you are the epiphany of entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And businesses it's a tough thing.
Yes.
It's a tough thing.
Yeah.
But I do know that during the pandemic, that was a time where a lot of people, left their 9-to-5. It was a side hobby for them and left their 9-to-5 to pursue it because they had more time on their hands. And how was your experience with that and with your clients during that period, that pandemic period, in terms of starting up businesses. What was that like?
Yeah. Well, you know, I identify as a multi-hyphenate entrepreneur. I've always had my hand in multiple situations, from entertainment to tech to product development and service. Those are the 4 areas where I really thrive. In March of 2020, I was where I would say at the height of my professional career. I had long-term, short-term clients that were thriving. They were doing exceptionally well. And I had owned an international marketing company at that point at 15 years. And from March 13th to March 31st of that year, I lost 100% of my clients.
Wow.
Every single day.
Wow.
Someone called me to say, Deon, we're sorry. We don't know what this pandemic is going to do. We just want to put our services on hold.
The uncertainty.
The uncertainty made large and small corporations. I'm talking about multi 7-figure companies put the halt on things that they considered a luxury. Being able to market to your demographic is honestly a luxury when you're just trying to survive. All I really want to do is sell bread. I don't need for you to make individuals know it's 9 grain and does this and toast well. That's what we do. We fluff everything. Everything that we do is fluff.
Right.
So because they didn't want to have to incur a bill in April, they decided to contact me. And I had survived the recession of 2008, where I was mostly doing government contracts at that time. So I had been furloughed and experienced that. And I never thought I would have an experience like that again. But here we were, back in bed, back with the covers over our head.
Another effed up report.
Girl! The F-up report was bleeding, you know what I mean? Because I really felt as if it was personal for 2 reasons. I felt as if it was personal because I should have seen it coming. I could have done something different. There were decisions that I made to spend this, buy that, expand here, that maybe I could have held on to. So the money was gone, right? So there's no way to get that back. The other thing that happened was there was so much uncertainty that I personally paid my team severance because I didn't know if they were. I never even thought that.
Wow, yeah. Personal money. Wow.
I paid them severance because I never even thought that there would be an opportunity for people to get PPP loans and unemployment. And I never thought that would be a thing. And furthermore, I thought we would be back to work in just a few weeks. And so the entrepreneurial journey has taught me, finally, about the uncertainty of life and the gift that every day is. Because one day my world was turned upside down. One day everything that I felt was secure and was mine and was gifted to me was then taken away. And so I now live, and I always encourage other individuals, especially entrepreneurs, to just walk on God gives you light for the step that you're in. He doesn't give you the whole path. I have light for this moment. I'm only going to live in this moment. That is the thing that has kept me as the effervescent, did you say ever, as the, whatever the adjectives you use, entrepreneur that I am. Because otherwise I could be that one that is like, I can't do this anymore. I just want to get a 9-to-5. I don't want to be subjected to this type of ebb and flow. I just can't emotionally handle it anymore. But that's the advice that I give to myself, and that's definitely the advice that I give to other entrepreneurs.
But through it all, have you ever been so discouraged that you figured or thought of going back to a 9-to-5?
Yeah, all the time. I apply for jobs all the time just to see what happens, right?
No, you don't.
Oh yeah, all the time. I get to a point where I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want somebody to tell me what to do. All I do is sit in meetings. I never actually get to do anything. So all I do is plan this and organize that and tell this person this and da-da-da. I don't ever get to do the tactical stuff, and I miss it. And so every once in a while, I'll apply for a job. Now, I don't get it. They just look over my application. Oh my goodness. But I do. Sometimes I just want someone to tell me what to. I want to come into work and I want to clock in and I want somebody to say, organize these papers.
Take that pressure away from you.
Take the pressure away and let me just do this, and I'm going to do it until this time. I'm going to eat lunch for an hour. I can't tell you the last time that I haven't eaten lunch. It's not in front of my desk. You know what I mean? So that's the things that I don't like about the journey, that I can't tell you a Sunday that I didn't work. I can't tell you of a Sabbath that it wasn't on my mind and I had to cancel it. Like, just enjoy this day.
Because when it's your own, you have to put in that time.
It's different.
You have to,
It's different.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work.
It
takes a lot of work
And
to
sometimes
get
you just don't do
that final product.
Whatever the goal is, whatever that goal is for you, it takes a lot of work to get there. And especially whenever you keep tasting what you call success. Because success is defined differently by everybody. Your success and how successful you see things is not my definition. And so whenever you have a definition of it, you're always chasing it.
So tell me if you've had any of this experience. I work in bankruptcy.
Yes.
And I know, owning a business is tough, as we mentioned.
Absolutely.
Have you or your clients ever experienced bankruptcy? Have you ever filed for bankruptcy?
I have not.
Okay.
Thank God, I've never filed for bankruptcy, but I have helped my clients through the process, and then being able, putting on my PR hat, really working through the public shame that sometimes can come
attached to it,
with being attached to it. And I'm actually dealing
with stigma.
It is. It's really difficult. I'm actually dealing with a client right now that is feeling very stigmatized by that situation and has creditors calling the people that she's put down as references and things like and so her people are calling me and it's humiliating. But you know what? We just normalize the decisions that we make and the mess ups and the F ups that we have in life, for the lack of any other term. But it is just truly, it's a part of life. It is truly just a part of how our life and the decisions that we're given the ability to make kind of pan out. So no, thankfully I've never. I can't say that I've ever been in a situation. I have not been in situations where I don't know how I'm going to pay my team. I don't know when the next check is going to get deposited. That uncertainty is very, very real. And it is a thing that can keep you up at night. Most definitely.
Because that uncertainty can be scary.
It can be scary. It can be.
So let's talk a little bit now about this transition that you made into becoming this epiphany of entrepreneurship. I know that you used to work in politics in Washington, D.C.
I did.
So walk us through that journey. Tell us what that was like. Tell us how that decision came about. Up until the time that you decided to retire and follow your journey and follow your dream and your purpose. Follow your purpose. So tell us about that.
While I was working in politics, I still owned a PR and marketing firm. So I was still contracting with the individuals that I serviced. So funny enough, I used to be a server at the Olive Garden. Shout out to the OG.
Really?
I used to be a server and a bartender.
Really?
Yes, in college. And I was like, Lord, if I can get out of this restaurant, I am going to get a real job. This is what I called it, right? A real job. And I'm going to never look back at serving. So I got my first job out of post-graduation at Enterprise Rent-A-Car. And I was washing cars from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
You were a car washer?
I wasn't a car washer. But everybody washes cars there.
Really?
They don't tell you this when they hire you. Everybody. So you go in the office and you're renting the car and the person's like, I'll be right back. Or they're saying...
They run to wash it up.
And then they say you got to wear stockings if you wear a dress, right? You have to wear trouser socks with your all these rules, right? I'm sitting here looking like, now, come on now. This has got to be more than this.
Right.
And so at that same time, I was volunteering for a gentleman named Parker Griffith. And I was ambitious. I was myself. I was doing the things that I really enjoyed doing, and I really believed in his platform and his position, but I was still working this 7 to 7 job. And I made the decision to volunteer full-time and quit my job. And the week that I decided to volunteer full-time after I had quit my job, after a series of lots of events, I'm sure you can imagine. I worked there for 2 months, so not that many events.
Not long at all.
I was like, some people are called, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's got a calling. Right? And I didn't experience mine.
Right. It's not yours.
Oh, and mind you, side note, I got that first check. You see, I worked 3 to 4 days, typically 3 or 4 days as a server. I made between $700 and $1,200 a week as a server. Wow. So my life was set up to make $700 to $1,200 a week.
So when you went to Enterprise and the taxes came out and the
insurance came out and they handed me that check for $700.
You're like, where's the rest?
I need you to figure out. Somebody's got to talk to somebody. I got to talk to somebody. And when I tell you, we talk about failures, that was the first time that I really experienced financial hardship because I had worked there for I worked there for 7 years. I worked there for such a long time. I started when I was 15, so because, your girl's young. But I worked there for a long time, so my whole life was established around that type of money. My car was in risk of getting repossessed. I couldn't afford my rent. There was no way I was going to continue to work there.
Wow.
And so, but I said, you know what? I'm going to step out on faith and I'm going to volunteer for this man because I feel like this is going to go somewhere. Quit my job, volunteer full time. That same week, I was asked to be his campaign manager. And the thing is that at that time, I can't say that my walk with God was this like patty cake situation that we have right now. But it was the Holy Spirit that truly led me to say, quit a job, even though you're not making a lot, you're making something and go and volunteer. And that was my first opportunity to be trusted in that type of position where I never should have been trusted. And the best part of that story is that as his campaign manager, I was probably in that position for almost 3 months. And the election came and we were all excited. And he put in millions of his own dollars into this campaign. He was an oncologist, so he was personally wealthy. And we lost.
Oh, wow.
And that was humbling and eye-opening and devastating all in the same moment. But it was the thing that set my political career in motion. I have had the pleasure of working with 17 politicians, and that was the only time
amazing.
I have ever lost a campaign.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I worked for him for the longest period of time.
Wow.
And so I worked for him. He ran again. He ran for Congress. He ran for U.S. Senate. I worked with him all the way to the White House. Well, not to the White House, but to D.C.
That's amazing.
Yes.
And what was that life like? Because I know that's a busy life. I know you were on private planes and traveling all over. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, he owned a private jet, thankfully, so that we were able to then transport back and forth from Huntsville to D.C. pretty seamlessly most times. But it was at that moment that I realized that this life isn't always. So I wanted to be able to create my own business as well as work for these individuals, politicians, when I needed to. And so that's whenever I started a PR and marketing, my very first company. It's always been called Joint Effort. Joint Effort is the parent company that I still operate and own today. And so that's whenever I started my very first company. But having to fly back and forth every day was torturous.
Were you married at the time?
I was not.
Okay.
Not when I first started.
Okay.
My husband and I dated for 7 years before we got married. And it was amazing because I was in the middle. We got married in September. I was still managing elections. It was not, election days were not until the first Thursday of November. And so every politician in the city came to my wedding.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I went to work
Wow.
a day after my wedding.
Wow.
2 days. 2 days after my wedding.
Wow.
And it was just the sacrifice that I realized, that my husband realized then, that he was going to start making in our relationship. He knew that I had ambitions. He knew that I had a lot of really big goals at that time, but it didn't really set in until I think I was going back to work 2 days after our wedding. When we planned the honeymoon, we were leaving, but I had a crisis and I needed to go, and all of these things that aren't supposed to happen happened. That then brought me to that moment. So the flights, the coming home every day, the trying to find what normal meant to me, building a business, being about 25 to 27 years old was whenever I was really in the building that business phase, was difficult. I made every mistake that you can consider anyone making in that process.
Wow.
All of them. 100% of them.
Wow. Wow. And juggling being a wife and with all of that.
And don't know what to do. What is that? I didn't have time to read the rubric. There is a manual somewhere that no one gave to me. I'm supposed to be a wife. All I came home. I was in DC an hour ago. And because of the time difference in Huntsville, I came home, and that equals a wife. No, it does not.
Right.
And so that was it was a big learning curve. It was an adjustment that both of us needed to make. We needed to understand how to communicate with each other. Yes, we dated for a long time, but I started dating my husband when I was 19. I was a child. And so, the ups and downs of our relationship, even getting to the point of marriage, were all around me and what I wanted to do and my goals and how I wanted to travel. I lived out of the country while we were dating. I did all these things, and I realized when you started putting them together how selfish they are.
Yeah, because now you have to incorporate,
selfish. Everything was about you. Everything that we did was because you wanted to. All of those things really brought me to retirement. And it took me a long time to realize that word and be okay with saying my decisions were selfish. But my relationship with my husband meant and means more than anything in this world, including money, including opportunity, including growth and development, personal and professionally. It meant more to me. And so I decided to quit.
Wow. And you have one of the best spouses ever. He is amazing. He's amazing.
You.
He's so laid back and supportive.
He is.
That's good to have. That's good to have, especially with your ambition and your drive that you have. You have to have someone understanding of that.
Absolutely. I read a post. I read a post today that said every female entrepreneur needs to either not have a husband or have the most supportive husband. Because it does take a husband that is supportive. That I also am a believer of really meeting your yang. He's the complete yang in my life. He does not have entrepreneurial aspirations at all. He's seen my journey as like, I don't want to get anywhere near that. So he holds the insurance, he pays the bills, he keeps our life looking just as nice and
teaches kids all day.
He teaches children, has the most admirable job in the face of the world, on the earth. Meanwhile, his wife is here, there, jet setting, figuring out how to pay the bill. Like, I don't know what's going on. He's like, I don't want to do that. He allows me to be me. He gives me the space and the opportunity to just show up as my true authentic self in every space that I hold, which I appreciate.
But even as a busy entrepreneur, I love the fact that you both still make time. You have date nights every Thursday night. Every Thursday night. Now tell us about that.
Thursday night. So my husband has one love language. And when I figured out that his love language was quality time, it was the thing that I could sacrifice to give him that. Today's Thursday. We went to lunch. It will happen. It doesn't matter. Date night time is not the factor. It is spending time together. And so I can give him gifts and I can tell him I love him. I can massage his feet. I can come home to a clean house. I can take you on a vacation. None of those things matter. Well, vacation would matter. Because I'm spending time with you.
You do a lot of those.
You do. For that reason.
The quality time.
It means absolutely everything to him. The way that I'm built, my languages are scattered across the spectrum. And so if I get a little bit of all of them, I'm okay. But he doesn't hear those things unless we spend the time. And so I can live the life that God intended for me to live because I do give him the things that he needs.
That's amazing. And it's so funny because I taped a show that was never aired, The Husband Chronicles. And I asked him, what was your love language? And he got them all right. It was a little of everything.
A little bit of everybody. A little
sprinkle of everything.
I'm Laurie. You know what I'm saying? Like a season all. You don't know what's in it. But it's good.
That's funny. Now, share with us. I know that one of your business is the Ambition Planner. Talk to me a little bit about that. I know that you encourage people on many levels to do different things. Talk to me about that.
So before the pandemic, I had created a planner sitting at my dining room table. I had missed a flight that my whole team was on the flight and I wasn't there. And they were calling me and texting me and I was doing my normal ignoring it. And I was finally looked at their messages and they were like, where are you? The flight is about to leave. And I was like, what flight? What are they talking about? I don't know what they're talking about. And I tried to give them a call back and I was in another meeting and they weren't answering. And it was then the rest of the team was like, oh, you were supposed to be in Kansas City this weekend. This week. Maybe a 3-day trip to meet with one of our larger clients. And I went home that night and I sat down at my kitchen table and I was like, God, something's got to give. You're not doing a good job at a lot of things. And I really wanted to figure out how to organize my day and to be able to align my goals and ambitions, my goals and my schedule with with my habits. I wanted to get my habits in order. I wanted to get my goals in order, and I wanted to be able to manage my schedule better. And I sat there with some colored Sharpies and a white piece of paper, and I created the Ambition Planner. And I took it back to the office the next day, and I gave it to a group of summer interns, and I was like, I want you to create this. And we worked on the project They did an amazing job creating it. And I was like, this is so dope. I want to be able to produce it and give it to my staff. And I want to white label and sell it. Because at that time, we did not create we didn't create products. We were like, we have different products that we sell to things like just that help, like systems that help us to work better, but not that we actually sell. And so I had 2 amazing individuals who should have purchased that product. Their lawyers were at the table. They should have sold. I was just going to sell it. I didn't have any need for me to be able to produce it. The last opportunity to sell it fell through in February of 2020. And then March 2020 came and we started having a pandemic. And April of 2020 came and I was in bed under the covers, and one day my husband came and pulled a blanket from over my head and was like, listen, sis, this isn't you, and I need you to get up and do something. And I was like, I don't have anything to do. And he was like, you have to look at what's in your hands. God has left something in your hands to do, and you need to get yourself busy, because this isn't you. This isn't going to work, and it's not sustainable. And so I'm like, I don't have anything. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't have anything in my hands to do. And God was like, remember how the person, they should have brought that planner that you created, but it fell through? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, remember that other lady came all the way from London and should have purchased that planner and did all of that work to be able to get the patent and the registration and da-da-da-da. And it fell through last minute. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, because I saved it for you. I meant for you to have it. The day you missed that flight, the day you wrote that on that post with those Sharpies, the day you gave it to those interns, the day you produced it, the day those things happened was me preparing this for you. And it was the absolute best gift that I could have ever received, because it was the part that I was missing in my professional growth and development. I didn't know until I lost all of my clients that I was really operating way too high. I was operating well over 100. You know what I mean? Missing flights, these things, those aren't normal behaviors. You're starting to not be intentional and focused about your personal health and your spiritual life. And there were some things that were not calibrating. And so sitting down and developing a planner is the most peaceful thing you can do. It's paper. What do you want it to look like and feel like? And how do people experience it? And what kind of goals are you going to help other people to be able to achieve? When I started thinking about the woman that was going to open my planner and then be able to organize her life and set really healthy boundaries around how she spent her day, affirm herself, read the devotional thoughts that we had in there every day, plan the things that she wanted to do. If it was something from having a garden to building a Fortune 500 tech company, it was going to live in that paper that I created for her. And that started meaning everything to me. And so in the middle of what seems like a world standstill, I was busy at work creating a planner that we have now sold to thousands of women worldwide, and has single-handedly changed so many individuals' lives just by helping them to organize their day and their time. And so I can't thank God enough for the F up that happened. I hate using this word.
Create that.
It's so vulgar. This is how I talk to God.
Failure.
It means failure, I promise.
Wink, 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 wink.
It does, I promise. But how he saved it for me. Every failure. Failures do not happen for you, they happen to you. This is for your good. You're not going to see it today. It happens for your good. We always think it happens to us. It happened to me and my only, and everything bad happens to me. But what if you identified failures as happening for your good as opposed to you? When you start thinking of things that way, it starts making money. It starts making your mindset shift. You start shedding limiting beliefs. You start really identifying places where you have a scarcity mindset and really start shifting it. Whenever I understood why failures were so important to my life, it truly changed everything about how I operated. And so those are the things that I truly thank God for the absolute most. Being able to start the Ambition Planner and understanding how important failures were for my success.
Yeah, and life itself is so chaotic.
Yeah,
it's so chaotic that I think that people miss the many blessings, as you mentioned, because of the chaos.
Yeah.
And because of being so focused on, the job to pay the bill and all this stuff that, being able to organize and just have some kind of peace can help you tackle.
Yeah, there's breadcrumbs. If we go back and pick up the breadcrumbs we go back to where it all fell apart and we start seeing like, all that happened so I could be here. My goodness, how great is my God? But we never go back. That's the journey. People talk about the journey. We use that word a lot. But if you need to go back and look at the footprints, that's the part of the journey that you're missing. The breadcrumbs that brought you to that space. The journey doesn't have to end just because I've gotten here and I'm able to help thousands of women, but it's going to keep going. Now, don't forget what you came from. Remember the footsteps. Remember the days you had to stand still in the sand, and then the days that you sprinted in that sand, because it's going to continue on as long as God gives you breath.
Absolutely. That is so transformative, so empowering. But I know that you also help people to start their businesses. So tell us a little bit about that, because you help them just take that hobby, that side hobby, or that, something that's a passion for them, and turn it into a business. So let's talk a little bit about that.
So when I started the Ambition Planner, it was really to organize your day, organize your goals. What I found, and especially through the power of social media, is that everyone was using the planner in order to start their business. I would almost dare say, as soon as your ideas are orphans in your mind. They're just little orphans that don't actually live anywhere. Having a planner gives you a space to write them down. The moment they're written down is the moment you realize these are actually attainable. I could actually do this. This makes sense. As long as they're in your mind, they keep you up at night.
And it's all jumbled.
Jumbled up. Everybody's speaking Italian. You only speak French. When you get it on a piece of paper, it starts making, and you start to translate that vision. What I found was that when the moment it got translated to a piece of paper was the moment that I was asked, how can I take this a step further? I want to be able to grow this as a business. I currently work wherever I work, but I want to be able to make this make me money. I know I'm onto something. And I'd always given away free classes and
the workshops
trainings
that you do.
And workshops and things like that, because I knew that it didn't just stop with a goal. Everyone's goal, most goals are tied to a dollar amount. Most goals are tied to like, I do this now, but I would really love if I did makeup for me to be able to help women to know how to do their own makeup, or if they have a hooded eye, how to make their eye pop and make their lips look fuller and make their lashes look a little bit longer. Women have those types of goals. What do I do with them? I want to be able to help women feel beautiful every time that they wake up, but I don't have a platform. I don't have a space. I help women take absolutely $0 and make consistent 10K months every single day.
Amazing.
That is exactly what I do by utilizing the planner as well as the classes that I offer them to be able to help take those goals and make yourself some money. There's so much opportunity out here. And the gift of the pandemic really gave us the opportunity to understand how digitally we can communicate with each other. So no longer do I have to be in this space with you. I can teach a class to 100,000 women virtually at 8 o'clock at night Eastern time and still be able to then record it and send it to the individuals that live in Spain, Portugal, and Tokyo the very next day. And so now we're able to expand our opportunity through not just the Ambition Planner, but now into the Ambition brand, where we now are able to help individuals grow their businesses from $0. I love working with a girl that doesn't have any money. If you tell me I got about a few $100,000 in the bank, I'm kind of like, okay, because I've started businesses with a lot of money. The businesses that I have started with seed money and backing. I have a tech company that's powered by Google. I love it. It's thriving. It's doing so well. It's doing its thing.
Tell us, okay,
I'm gonna get there.
Right. We're gonna come back to how that started. Wow.
But the thing is that that company can do wonderful, and it will do amazing things, and it will change people's lives. But the companies that I started with no money, when I started the Ambition Planner, I was laying in the bed. I had absolutely no money, no idea how I was going to make it happen. Those
some Sharpies and a piece of paper.
Those are the things. It's the two fish and the loaves that then can be able to feed the thousands. But when you have a lot, you can't ever see. You can only think of bigger. When you have nothing, I like that girl. She's my girl. And the thing is that I've sold our courses for $10,000, $14,000, $15,000, $17,000. We now charge only a few $1,000s for the courses that we offer because I don't want I don't want money to be a hindrance to access.
to someone who can't,
Money is a hindrance for everything. I want a Bentley truck.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah.
I'm never,
I
I'm
want
not
a
going to say
Porsche
never.
Cayenne. How about that?
Maybe one day, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is that I know I can do this. I can actually start with zero money and then be able to make that grow. That's who I want to talk to. That's the girl that I want to be able to help. But I don't want money to be deny me access to the things that I want, because it denies me access in so many other ways. I don't want that for my girl. So in that season, like I said, I'm in my skin season. We're in my season of just saying, you know what? I want to be able to help more people and have a larger impact. I do not have children. My legacy will live on through the individuals' lives that I'm able to impact. That's my legacy.
That's so amazing. So amazing. Now, we mentioned the Google aspect of it, right? So tell us of how that, because that's amazing how that even came about. Tell us how that came about.
So I was speaking about failures at a conference in Nashville, Tennessee, and I was there. I was an unpaid speaking situation, and I was kind of rolling my eyes at it, like, okay, but we're going to do this. We're just going to do this. In the audience were individuals that worked for the Black Founders Exchange for Google, and so they come up to me after I present, and they're like, we would love for you to come to an event that we're having in a few months in Durham, North Carolina. So I was like, sure, it's Google. So I'm like, that's fantastic.
Yeah, just the connection alone. Yeah.
Unpaid event. And I'm like, God, you'd be real funny. Because, I just like, I want to give, I want to help people. And then it comes and you're like,
do I have to?
Okay now.
So
this was in my, this was pre-ambition planner when I was living life kind of reckless. And so I get my ticket, I get to the airport, and I'm loading, getting on the plane, and they're like, we'll see you Friday. And I was like, see me Friday? I'm turning around. I was looking at the ticket like, what does she mean, see you Friday? It was Monday. The ticket was for a week. I had planned on being out of the office for a day. I was pretty sure I had said, yes, I can come speak today. I'll be back tomorrow. Thankfully, I had a laptop and all of these things. Y'all, that's what I'm saying. This right here.
Yeah.
That's not normal behavior. You don't not
100. Pay
attention to it. I'm leaving it to someone else. My assistant's telling me something. She put it in the email. You didn't read it. I mean, those things aren't normal behaviors for someone that wants to be able to operate at the level that I was operating, but I wasn't present. So I get to Durham, and I had an attitude the whole flight, but then by the time I got to Durham, I was, I calmed down a little bit. And so I go to the first event, and I'm meeting amazing founders who are developing tech products for Google. And I get into this space of working with these tech founders, and I'm there for a week. So what was intended for as a 2-hour seminar now turns into me just being there. I was just in the space. And the opportunity to just network with the people that I met there was outstanding. And they were like, Deon, do you have a pitch? And I was like, no, I don't have a tech idea. I work in the cerebral realm. I work with ideas. I don't work with apps. And I was like, but you know what? I do have this idea to create an application, and that's what I was calling it at the time, because I wasn't cool enough to know the application. Because all these were really, they're like 20 years younger than me, So I'm like, I wanted to create something that really helps people who don't feel as if they need a therapist. They need someone to talk to, but they don't want to go and lay on a couch and have a therapy session.
More modernized aspect.
They need a life coach. They need a business consultant. They have ideas, but they need a financial advisor because their money is running out their pockets like they got rainwater in them. They also just need someone someone to listen to them. And so in that week, I developed a company called Pivot, spelled PVT. And we are a tech service that is being betaed in large healthcare industries that provide individuals the opportunity to speak a text talk or video chat with a professional that helps them to either offer financial advice,
That's amazing.
life coaching, business consulting, or even entrepreneurial consulting. So business consulting. I want to be able to level up. I want to get to the C-suite of my business. How do I do that? Those are things that individuals in large companies deal with and they're stressed out with. I've got bill collectors calling my phone. I'm not able to be present at work because my finances are in. I got to pay back my student loans in October. What am I going to do?
Shambles,
I'm not doing a good job at work. I need a financial advisor. Initially we were like, we could give this out and we could help a lot of different people, but we really found that going from a B to B, from a business to business was really able to be a service and another benefit that large companies were able to offer their employees. Just missing, not reading what I was supposed to, being in the right space at the right time, gave me the opportunity to partner with Google, and
you left with a
whole nother stream of revenue that I never ever thought would go anywhere other than just like a fleeting thought. So it's those things that the one moment that I'm like, God, where are you? I mean, I don't get it. Why do I have to go through these things? Why does life so hard? Why do difficult situations happen? It's really when you start putting those pieces together that you're like, you've got so much control and you've done so much for me. I can't thank you enough. The 10,000s of 10,000s tongues would never be enough to express my gratitude.
And he gives you the mindset and the brain to come up with these ideas. I mean, you have multiple businesses with different with different ideas. That's amazing. That's amazing. It's encouraging also to other women who just have the thought, have the mere thought, seeing you do it, knowing that it's possible.
It can be done. It can be done with organization and a lot of prayer. Because the moment that we become unorganized is the moment that we self-doubt starts creeping in. That we're like, I can't get enough done. I get easily overwhelmed. My anxiety is through the roof. It is that organizational piece that really helps me to be able to operate at the level that I want to. I call it this. What is this? I don't know what you call it. But it comes unraveled. I don't want to ever be in that space again.
And you use the planner for yourself?
Every single day. The digital version as well as the written version. Every single day. To be able to manage my time and opportunities. Because opportunities will pass you by and I have missed so many because I wasn't organized and ready. The formula to success is preparation plus opportunity equals success. If I'm not prepared, the opportunity can come all at once, but I won't be successful. I can have the opportunity, but when the opportunity comes and I'm not prepared, I won't be successful. I say it all the time. I repeat it all the time because what does preparation mean? It means something different to every business. It looks different for every organization. Figure out what that means for you, and then the opportunity will come. I've proven that.
You fail to plan, you plan to fail.
There it is.
You fail to plan, you plan to fail. Absolutely.
There's an easy formula to success. Follow it every time, and you'll be successful.
Okay, so before we close, let's talk about something a little more personal.
Okay.
I know that you and Courtney have been married a long time, and having children was never in your plans. It's not something, you don't have that motherly instinct. It's something that you've said you've never just wanted children, and that's okay. Some women get caught up in their careers and they choose not to, or they get too busy. They want to, but get too busy. But for you, that was never something that you wanted in life. And it happened that you did end up getting pregnant. Twice. And you lost both, you lost them both. Share with us what that experience was like for you, knowing that it was not something you wanted, knowing that you were blessed with it, and then you lost it. Share that with us.
And I've said a few times, like, God, why this is so hard, this is so difficult. Those are the times in life when you ask those types of questions. This seems so unfair. This doesn't seem like I had plans for me, and you have plans for me, right? And I every day I stand on the promises of Jeremiah 29:11. For you know the plans you have for me, plans to prosper me and give me hope and a future. So no matter what my plans are, I give them to God. So whenever you have something that was never your plan given to you, and then so abruptly taken from you, the idea of why I don't know. I feel as if it's just normal. Why did you let this happen? Why did you cause these things to be? Why did you give me just the moment of saying, well, you know what? If I have a child, I'll be a mom. Why did you allow that thought to come into my mind? And I don't have the answer today. I'm still asking God for that answer. But what I know is that he knows his children. And he gives us the desires of our heart, even if someone else doesn't understand them. I've never wanted to have children. I never felt comfortable saying that because I did not grow up. I didn't grow up in a society that would allow me the space to stand in my truth. But I also know that even in my immediate society, but then society at large looks at women who don't have children or that declare that they never wanted children as something wrong with them. You're selfish. You're too ambitious.
I've gotten that.
Why would you be a person that wouldn't want to bring another person into this world? And I've never been able to formulate my own true reasons why I never wanted to have children. I just never saw myself being a person's mother. I never was the person that held other kids in church. And the baby's crying, I'm mostly like...
It's funny because we went to brunch and there was a little baby and the baby's looking at me and I'm waving and Deon's like, I don't see that. I can't see him. I don't have that.
You were waving and I was like, hey.
Waving. She's like,
hello.
Okay. Can you stop?
Mostly. I just never had, and I have 11 godchildren. I absolutely love, I've changed their diapers, taken them into Six Flags, most recently bought them a car. They're in college. I support them through church school. I give and they come and visit me for summer. I could go on and on. I love children because they're people. I never saw myself being a mother. And so the decision for my husband and I to live the life that we do without children was one that we enjoy. We don't regret the decision. But the questions of why God would ever allow me to become pregnant and take that opportunity away is a question that I still talk to God about. Because no, even today, I still don't want to have children. But why did we do that? What was that exchange about? Those are the moments I'm talking about when you walk on that journey.
And you were devastated by it.
I was. I had an ectopic pregnancy, and so this wasn't your traditional miscarriage. This was an emergency surgery. This was something that happened one day that you have to now go under the knife and have a long-term procedure. They removed one of my fallopian tubes. This wasn't caused by having STDs or anything like that. This was a serious birth defect that I had from, as being born. So these weren't decisions that I was ever able to control. And the loss of control for many of us, specifically for myself, is something that I don't enjoy. Why can't we plan for this? Why didn't we know this was going to happen? Why does it have to happen this way? It's devastating. It is. But I am searching God, and I'm excited to follow the breadcrumbs back on that journey. Because one day I'll understand why it happened. And the old folks say, by and by. By and by I'll understand it. But today I don't understand it, and I'm okay with not having the answer.
It's funny because we're on different ends of the spectrums, right? So I'm gonna do a little bit of real talk, which is very rare. my own real talk. But we're on different ends of the spectrums because having a child is something that I've always wanted. I think it's the one thing that I'm missing from my life. I mean, I have, the career, I have all these things, and I have tons of nieces and nephews and godkids, and I love them all, and I'm the cool auntie, all that stuff. But it took me a long time. It took me a long time to just be at peace with the fact that I don't have a child. And I think also it stemmed from, a decision of not wanting to have a child out of wedlock and not wanting to have a child, be a baby mama for somebody. You know what I mean? It was always that. So the age that I am now, so that I know that, that possibility. So we're on different ends of the spectrums where I never had that opportunity. And here you are not having that motherly instinct, but being given that opportunity. Yeah. We don't know why. We never know why.
We don't know why. And those are the types of questions that we'll get to ask God when we sit around the throne. But it is one of those things that I've had to identify how to draw my own peace. And in my faith and in many faiths, individuals have a hard time with the idea of meditation. But I don't believe in one-sided conversations, and I don't believe in a one-sided relationship. At some point, I got to shut up and listen. And I don't know if you've noticed, but I can talk a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And
the gift of gab. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I can talk to God all day. And this is this, and that is that, and why is this? But my time in meditation allows me the peace to just listen. And in my listening is when I find that peace that no one can understand, not even myself. It doesn't make sense. I don't know the answer, but I'm okay with the result. And that is really how I encourage other women that have huge ambitions that don't include children or have desire to have a child. I have a lot of individuals in my life right now who are in their mid-30s who are deciding to find surrogates as a single woman, who are deciding to adopt, who are deciding to have a vitro, whatever it is, and however the cost. I feel as if we're in a very free time in our life that we can make decisions past what everyone else says is our time, because
or what it's supposed to look like. What it's supposed to look like.
I make my own normal. My normal is my normal, and so the way that I show up and how I speak and the way even calling it an F up report, even though I don't use profanity. That's my choice. And it doesn't take me any further or closer away from God. And those are the things that I like about where I am in my relationship with God, specifically. We don't know the answer, Michelle. I don't know.
It's been an amazing journey. You've had an amazing journey.
I have. And I've had a wonderful life. Wonderful life.
And you're amazing.
Thank you.
You are amazing.
Thank you so much.
And I always close by asking, are you truly living your purpose?
Every single day.
Every single day.
If I could do what I do today and never collect another dime, I would be the happiest person in the world.
Wow.
We joked a lot a few weeks ago about playing the lottery and winning billions of dollars. I would go to work the next day. When you figure out the litmus test of living your purpose, never forget it. There's moments, there's glimpses of purpose-driven life and love and opportunity. When you see it, hold on to it, because it's very, very precious. But I live this day as if it was my last. And if I died today or tomorrow, I would be, that was the thing you could put on my tombstone.
Wow.
She lived her purpose.
Wow. That's profound.
Thank you.
That's profound. Before we leave, I'm going to ask you just to give some words of advice to, people who are thinking about starting their own business or, just some hope of making the decision to do that, to, maybe stuck in the 9-to-5 and decide to, venture out like you did. So just look in the camera and just give some words of advice.
Listen, sis. I get real serious.
Listen now.
We're waiting for you. We've been waiting for you for so long. You have a gift, you have a talent, and you have a purpose. So my prayer for you is that you can't sleep tonight. I want you to feel restless. I want you to feel interrupted.
Oh my.
Because the fact of it, the reality of it is that God has given you something that you don't know when you'll ever be able to fully manifest. So that means that today's the day. Your journey doesn't have to start when someone says it's the right time, because the truth of it is that there's never a good time. Sure. It's never a flexible moment. There's never the perfect entryway into what you're going to do. But what you don't want is for the opportunity to be taken away from you. If God's giving you the power of choice, choose today to help someone. I don't know a single business person, a single business owner that didn't start their business because they wanted to help someone do whatever it is, product or service, better than it's currently being done. We're waiting for you. You can't sleep tonight. You can thank me.
And how can people get the Ambition Planner?
Absolutely. I am found on all the social platforms at the Ambition Planner, or the Ambition Planner. at The Ambition Brand. And my personal account is The Face of Ambition. You can find me in all places where quality social media and websites are hosted.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
The epiphany of entrepreneurship.
Oh, she does what she can do.
Yes, and you're doing it.
Well, thank you.
You are doing it. You are slaying it.
Thank you, darling.
You are
I
slaying
appreciate
it. Yeah,
it.
yeah. You're amazing. That was
Thank
some
you.
great advice and great information.
Awesome.
And
we got real, honey.
Yes, we did.
Have you ever had anyone use the F word on your show? It'll be censored, I promise.
No.
Real talk.
Real talk. We did. And I appreciate you, just opening up and being honest, especially about the personal journey in your life.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you. And I love you.
I love you too,
I love
Michelle.
you.
Thank you so much for having me. This is a pleasure.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you for being here. Thank you. And to your viewers, thank you so much for watching. I pray that you were encouraged and I pray that you were uplifted as you heard Deon's journey. If you would like to reach out to us, you can reach out to us at realtalkwithmichelle1@gmail.com. Be blessed. Until next time, let's have some real talk.